Hello, everyone. Welcome to our YouTube session for multi-call. So our host is having a little bit of technical difficulty. So, but anywho, we're just going to get started. My name is Victoria Adedayo. I am going to be the speaker taking this multi-call workshop. Welcome, everyone. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. Okay. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this session on multi-call. My name is Victoria Adedayo. I'm a blockchain developer and also software developer. So I'm going to be taking you on this section of multi-call. So before we get started, so please share this YouTube live on your social media so people can, join in and experience what we want to do here because I have a lot in store for us. So I just want to encourage you to post this live on your social media. Okay. So I'm just going to try to join the live chat so I can, you know, okay. So I'm going to be sharing my screen any minutes from now. Okay, so before we get started, so please follow WID on their social media handle. Okay, so let's just get started. I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. All right, so multi-call. So let's get started. As I've said earlier, my name is Victoria Adedayo. So all right. So introduction to multi-call. So a multi-call contract is a powerful tool that allows you to batch multiple function calls into a single transaction. So this significantly reduces gas costs, right? So for example, instead of you to, let's say you want to query a function call, right? Instead of you to query that call, like let's say you want to check the balance of the user, right? So you check the balance of the user, you want to check the balance of like let's say 5 users, right? You pass in the address of the user, then you get the return that is the balance of the user. So let's say you want to do this 5 times. Just imagine the gas cost this would cost, right? So multi-call just allows you to batch these transactions into one to save gas cost. So we have like three main functions that I'm going to be sharing with you, which is the aggregate function for the multi-call, the try aggregate function, and the aggregate three function. So these are the three functions that I'm going to be sharing with you. So let's go to Remix so you see these functions in play. So Remix is an online IDE that helps you write code just the same way we have VS Code. So that's the way it is. So I have the multi-call code here, but it's actually on GitHub. So I just copied this from their GitHub website. So this is it. So this is the aggregate call function that I explained earlier. So this function takes in an array of calls that you want to. And this array of calls is a struct. This array of calls is a struct that takes in the target contract that you want to query and the call data. Call data just simply means, let's say, the function that you want to invoke in this target contract. So the target just means that the contract that you want to interact with. Okay. All right. So the other function that I explained earlier is the try aggregate function. So the difference between this aggregate and try aggregate function is that the try aggregate gives you the flexibility that the aggregate function doesn't give you, because this one requires that the transaction is success. So this just means that, for example, you are making like let's say a function to like 5 addresses, to query 5 addresses. Let's say, for example, the query to one of the addresses fails. If you're using the aggregate function, the whole transaction is going to fail. That means if all these individual calls do not pass, that means it's going to fail. But if you use this try aggregate function, it gives you the flexibility. So it returns which failed and which passed. So it just gives you that flexibility. So there's also a new function that was brought about, which is the aggregate three call function. So before I go ahead, I just want to be sure that I am being heard. So please just let me know if you can hear me. Okay, try. I can see you. So just let me know if you can hear me, if I'm audible. Okay. I just need reactions to know that you can hear me. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Where were we? All right. We're on Remix. All right. So there's a new function that was introduced. So as said, so I think I should actually bring up this article. So I wrote an article for this workshop because I feel that it will help beginners are just trying to get their hang out of this, right? So in the aggregate, in the multi-call function, there's multi-call 1, there's multi-call 2, and there's multi-call 3. So the first multi-call brought about the aggregate function that I explained earlier, and the multi-call 2 brought about the try aggregate. So it provides an option for you in case your calls fail. So the multi-call 3 just introduces a more sophisticated way to handle transactions in case any of your call fails. So the multi-call function uses assembly languages. So you're going to see it here. So it uses assembly just to make sure that it handles the calls accurately. So this is what it does. So it also does the same thing as the other two functions, like the aggregate and the try aggregate. So it also does same thing. So these are some of the other functions which we will not really dwell on in this workshop, but these are just it. So if you want to try this out, because of time, I'll not be able to wait for everyone to try it on their own, but this article has like everything you would need. So there are resources at the end of the article to the official repository that are used in setting up like the sample contracts and all that. So you can just check them out after the call. So you can just like check them out. So yeah, this is the repo. I think I should share the link to this repo for those interested. Let me just share this on the chat. Yes, so this is the link to the repo if you want to, see what I've been doing so far. Okay, so let's go ahead. All right, yes, I was here. All right. So for those that are just joining us, let me just recap a bit. So the benefits of multi-call contracts is to help gas reduction, right? Instead of you making like 10 calls one after the other, you make the first call, you make the second call, you make the third call, like consuming gas, like, and you know how expensive gas is in Ethereum. So multi-call contract just helps you batch like 10, 15 more than into like one transaction. So you just do it all at once. Let's say, for example, now you want to query like the balances of like 50 addresses. Imagine doing this query like one after the other. You would agree with me that the gas cost would be crazy, right? So multi-call just helps you batch all these transactions, all these calls into one and gives you the result. So yes, so I've spoken about this, the aggregate function. So this is, if you read the article, these are just the code explanation on the aggregate function. So I actually like did a usage on how this aggregate function works. So let's just go to a code and see how this aggregate function works. So I want to assume that most of the people that are in this workshop are familiar and not really new to crypto. So I would just assume that you have wallet addresses. So you can just send me your wallet address. So we just try out this function. So let me just explain this function. So I'm going to be doing a lot of assumption in this workshop. I'm going to be assuming that you know a bit of smart contract. And if you don't worry, we'll carry you along. So this is just to incite curiosity in you to know that, okay, these things are possible and you can also go ahead and learn it on your own. So this is the function. So this function is a balance checker. It helps check the balances of an array of addresses, like I explained like earlier. So in this contract, we have like a list of addresses that we want to check their balance. Instead of like doing it the normal way you do it without multi-call, where you just check the balances one after the other, one after the other. So because we want to display this on our front end, we just want to do it all at once. Pick up all these addresses, get their balances and display it all at once instead of doing it one after the other, which will consume gas. So this is just the function. So this balance checker takes in the multi-call address and the token address that you want to check. So this is the function. So this function will take in addresses and return the balances of these addresses to you. So it does, this is like the structure of the call. So it does, this is a for loop that, loops through each of the addresses and get their balance of. So this is just like a low level call, get the balance, pass in, this is the function, the balance on function, passes in the address that you want to query, then this is it, it passed it in here. So this is just like the function signature. This is the function signature. Then these are the addresses that you want to pass into this function as a parameter. So this is you calling the aggregate function in a multi-call, passing in all the calls that you want to make. passing in all the calls here. And this is giving you your balances. It's returning the balances to you. So we are going to check this. We're going to play around with this contract a bit. So this contract accepts an array of addresses. So I just need volunteers to just send me the addresses. Don't worry, I won't do anything with addresses. I will likely maybe send you PTH or something, but so please, if you can, so just like addresses so that we just test it out. So I need volunteers to just send me their wallet address, maybe one or two or something. So we'll just test it out. So I'll just pass it into this array. So we'll do it all at once. So this is just like the first example that we're going to do in this workshop. So we're going to try other examples. This is just the start. Okay. So I'm still waiting for volunteers. So if we don't get any, I'm just going to, I think I should have some addresses here that I can use. Let me just copy this, paste it here. So it's just be easy. Then do this. So I think in my MetaMask, I should have another address that I can use. So I'm doing this because I didn't get any volunteer to send me the address, which is fine. Some people will be like, what does she want to use my address for? I'm not using your address or anything. Just want to test this out. All right, so I have these two addresses that I'm going to use. Copy it, paste it in here. Paste it in here to show that our call is good to go. Yes. So now we are doing this like all at once. So we are checking it against this token, right? We want to check if these addresses that we passed into this array have like this token in their balance, right? So the normal way we'll do it is just, pass the address one after the other, one after the other. But using multi-call, you can just batch this request. So we're going to do a very sophisticated example, but this is just the beginning. Let me hide this. All right, so transact. Sorry. All right. So I'm using Sepolia testnet for this. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so just confirm. Transaction is still pending. We'll just wait for it to be successful. All right. Okay. So we just check the events because we are emitting an event. So we'll just check our logs. So yes, we get for the first, let me just bring this up a bit so you can see it. All right. So the first address has 2 of our tokens. So it is 2 raised to power 18 zeros. So this has like 999. Can't really read what figure that is. So this is an example of the aggregate function. So moving on, this is the explanation of this function if you want to go deeper into it. So I'm going to share a link from the article for you. Okay. So this is the try aggregate function. Let me see if there's any comments in the chat. All right. So someone dropped their address. Let me just add it to the array so we just use it in the next example. So we'll start first in. All right, thank you, Oluwakemi. Thank you so much for your service. All right, so pasting it in here. So just take note of that. So bear in mind that she doesn't have our token at the moment, I assume. All right, so moving on. This is the try aggregate function in the multi-call. So requires success. So you can, this is a Boolean, you can just pass it true or false depending on what you want. So this is an explanation of the function. This explains what the function does. So similar to the aggregate function, so it includes an additional parameter, require success, that allows callers to specify whether all calls must succeed for the function to proceed. So you can just require, instead of the aggregate function that just assumes if all the functions are not successful, you just reverse. But this one helps you, like gives you the flexibility of saying, okay, I want this call to succeed, true. I want all the calls to succeed, true. Then if you don't want all the calls to succeed, then you put in false. So it's just give you the result of the ones that are successful. All right. So we use this also in a balance checker version 2. You can check the repo that I dropped for that. So we're not going to go deep into that. So this is the aggregate tree function. So I've explained this earlier, right? So this function takes an array of the call structs. So it just does its thing. So it retrieves the balance, the return value for each of the function, for each of the target address that you pass into it. So we also use this in the balance checker tree. So it's going to give us the same result as the others, just that it handles the aggregation, which is the multi-calling, in a different and sophisticated way. So at the bottom, there is deeper into multi-call, which is what I want us to look at. So let me open this in Remix. But before that, let me just assume that you can see it. Let me see if there's anything in chat. Oh, okay. This person said they can see it. Okay. Please, can you just let me know what you can't see? Uh, just let me know what you can't see. But I'm going to try and zoom in from now on so you can see better. But I'm pretty sure I'm sharing my screen. Yes, I am. Okay. So this is another contract, right? So this contract takes in the multi-call interface because we are using it to interact with it. So we are using two target contracts right now. So we are using the Vkish token and the other token, which is the Shei token. So we are going to try to check the balances of our users on each of these tokens. So now this is a very sophisticated way of using multi-call because this is actually a real use case. So we are checking the balances of these users in like these two contracts, and you can add more contracts. That's the flexibility multi-call gives you. So this is the event that logs the balances of the user for Shei token and Vkish token. So you're going to see the balances of the Vkish token and Shei token for each of the user. So this is the constructor. So when I was deploying this contract, I passed in the multi-call address, passed in Vkish token, the address of Vkish token, the address of Shei token, right? So this is the main function that we're going to be interacting with. So this function is called get token balance. So it takes in an address of users, sorry about that. So returns their balances. So this is a 2D array, as you can see. It's 2D array. So it returns two arrays for you. All right, so this is the first call. This is the first call to the Vkish token, and this is the second call to Shei token, right? So this is the for loop. So this Okay, so we are back. Sorry for that interruption. Please just let me know where you stopped hearing me so I can. Please let me know if you can hear me now and let me know where you stopped hearing me. Sorry for that interruption. Can you still hear me? All right, thank you. Thank you, Oluwakemi. All right, so can you please tell me when you stopped hearing me so I can just do a recap? Let me share my screen. Okay. So I can't remember where you stopped hearing me, but I'm just going to I think I'm sharing my screen already. Um, I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen, please. I think I share already. So let me know if you can still hear me and if you can see my screen because I think I'm sharing. Okay. So it seems everything is back now. All right. So I was just giving an explanation to this double call contract. So I don't know where you stopped hearing me, but I was just explaining how we were able to extract the balances from the results of this. So this is where we emitted the event. So this event gives us like the array of the users, their balances. So this is what it gives us and the return balances. So this is a very deep explanation of this. You can go ahead and um, look at it on your own. So let's test out this function, shall we? Okay, so this is the function that I want to test out. So let's see if there's more chat. All right, we're good. We are good. All right, so I'm just going to test this out. Let's close this. Close this, open this. All right. So I was given an address earlier, so I'm just going to test that. So currently, I'm pretty sure the address does not have any of the token that we want to use to test. So we are just going to use that. So the address is this OXE253. So let's just make the call. All right. So we are passing in the addresses of this user and checking in. Let me just explain what we are doing. So before I do that, so we are passing in an addresses of users and checking their balances against two contracts, two token contracts. We are checking if they have the balances of the first token contract and the second token contract, and not just one user, but more than like that. They're about 50, 100. So that is what we are doing in one call. So we are doing that in one call. That is the power of multi-call. So we're just going to paste the addresses here. This is the first address, second address, thereabout. I'm just going to transact. Let's bring this up. Close this. All right. So okay. So let's transact. Moment of truth. Okay. So we are transacting now. Waiting for our transaction to be successful. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for being on this call. I am very grateful. Very, very, very grateful. Good to have an audience. All right. So this is the first address, the second address, and the third address that was given to me by Oluwakemi. So we have the first, sorry. All right. So we have the first result, second result, and the third result. All right. So the first result, we got the balance. The second one, we got the balance of Vikish token and data token, Vikish token and data for each of them. Then the third one that we're giving to Olem is this addresses are mine. The first two are mine because I'm using them, I've used them to test this function a lot. So I've transferred token to our growth. So this one now does not have any balance, does not have any of our tokens. So I'm going to send Vikish token to Oluwakemi. So let me just copy this. I'm going to send one of our tokens to her. So this token has 18 decimals. So 1 raised to the power 18. And this is 2 raised to the power 8. So I'm just going to send one. So we'll use Vikish tokens. So when I send, we're going to check the balance again to see if we've been able to transfer. So I'm just check if this token I'm trying to send from, if this address I'm trying to send from has this. So OXP6, this is the address that is calling this get balance function. So just want to be sure that it's calling this Vikish token, sorry. So I'm just going to be sure that that is the address that has this. All right, yes. So this address B6, sorry. Okay, no, no, not this one. This one. So I'm going to send from this address, this B6. Let's switch to this address because I would like to use address to call it. This is the address that has Vikish token. It has 2 Vikish tokens. So I'm going to see one. So just see reduction in the balance. So the address I'm trying to send has 2 Vikish tokens. So this address, the one calling Vikish token now, and the address wants to send 1 Vikish token. It has 2 Vikish tokens at the moment. So it's sending 1. So we just know that okay, the balance of this user now was the user F9B thereabout is going to have 1 after I send one of it to Oluwakemi's address. So there is Oluwakemi's address is the last one. So we copy this and paste it. I'm transferring. So 1, just show the transferring 1. All right, so transfer. Let me see the chat. If there's any. Okay. Right. So bring this up. So see, it tells us we are sending one VVA. VVA is the symbol of the token. So I'm sending it to this address. Confirm. Transaction is pending. I'm going to wait for it to be successful. All right. So it is successful. Let's check the logs. All right, nothing in the logs, but it was successful. So in the normal way, right? Let me just explain, like show the normal way we would use in checking this balance without the multi-call function. So the normal way we'll use in checking this balance is calling this balance of function. So let's call this balance of function. We want to check the balance of this address to show that the token has been sent. All right, so the token has been successfully sent. She has one VVA token. So let's check the balance of this user that sent. So this is just the normal. I'm just telling you the tedious way you would use in doing it without multi-call. But now with multi-call, you are aggregating this call to another function, to another contract that is doing this call for you, which makes it consume less gas. Now, calling this function, say, okay, this is call transaction, right? Still cost little, but let's say you are changing the state or something. Just imagine how this function, this contract also has like one. So let's check another one. Just follow me. See the best way we use in checking this. Just follow me. Copy another one. Check. So this is how you're going to keep on checking for each 50 addresses if you're not using multi-call. All right. So this balance person, this address has 9999. So this is a very tedious way. Imagine you're doing it for 50 addresses. This is a no-no for me. So let's use multi-call function in calling. Let's use multi-call function to call all these addresses again. You know, the first time we did it, this address has 0 balance of Vikish token. So let's do it again. We transact. All right. Confirm. Wait. Let me see if there's any chat for me. Okay. Please, if you're getting anything from this workshop, please post on social media and, take a screenshot, post on social media, talk about it. All right. So we're just going to check again. Yes. So this is it. This is F9 address, this user's address. So now this user's address has like 2 Vikish token earlier. This is it. Please follow me. I know it's kind of a lot, but just follow me. So this address this address is the one we are checking. The first time we checked, it has 2 Vikish tokens. So we transferred 1 Vikish token to the address Oluwakemi provided. And now the address that transferred to Oluwakemi has 1. So now let's see the one, how many Oluwakemi has. Now Oluwakemi has 1 Vikish token. Earlier on, she has 0, 0 in both. And now she has 1. At a time on 2 contract addresses, 2 target contract at a time. This is just batching transactions that you would have done like a lot of times, batch them into one call. So this is just like the summary of multi-call. And if you really enjoy this, I would urge you to go ahead and try this out for your own, play around with it, right? Play around with it. So this is just like a conclusion of this workshop. So the multi-call contract provides you with an efficient way for aggregating multiple function calls. In this one now, we did it for just the balance of function. You mustn't just do for only balance of function. You can do for another function in another contract, right? So it gives you this amazing flexibility. You can do it for a lot of function in one call, multiple function calls in one call. It gives you a lot of like there's a lot of superpower that comes with multi-call function in terms of saving gas, right? So whether it's retrieving token balance, querying blockchain data, or executing complex logic, like I explained earlier. This what we did is just to read, from state, get, but now you can do complex execution logic, right? Using multi-core in order to save gas. So who doesn't like to save money? I do. So this is just like a way for you to make it, good for you, and also a good user experience in order not to make your users spend too much money on gas. So these are just additional resources that you can look through. So this is the official repo of the multi-core contract. So you can check it out. So this is the new repo. It was forked from MakerDAO. Theirs is outdated. So this is the new one. So the version we spoke about is the multi-core 3. This multi-core 3 also has aggregate, has tri-aggregate, has the main aggregate 3 that was added to this multi-core 3. So it has all. There were some changes that was made to the aggregate and tri-aggregate, but not really significant changes, right? It's still like the same way, just a bit of like, touch up like that. But this is the main repo to the multi-core function if you want to, multi-core contract if you want to check it out. And this is their website. So this website is where I got the addresses for the, sorry, is where I got the address for the multi-core function when I was about deploying my contract. So this is where I got it from. So you can just search, let's say you want to interact with this multi-core function in using Sepolia, using Optimism, using Arbitrum, Polygon, uh, Phantom, Aurora, all these chains, like you have a lot of them. Scroll, I just saw scroll. So you can use it. Just come here, click on this. It will take you. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let's talk. So let me just click on this. Hopefully it will be to load faster. Yeah, I think these people have issue with their, because I don't understand why it's doing now. So this is Sepolia, my lovely Sepolia. So you can just come here, copy the address. This is where I got the address of the multi-core contract. So just copy the address and do your thing. So you can just come here, batch your transaction, send it to this contract, and it will execute it for you. Note that it is not your contract that is executing this. It is the multi-core contract that you are giving all these calls that is executing it for you. What is being returned to your contract is the result, right? Just want you to get that. Your contract is not the one executing these calls. The calls are being executed by the multi-core contract. What your contract is just doing is do this thing, send the calls to the multi-core contract, then the multi-core contract sends the result to your own contract, then you display the result to your user. So this is just it. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me send the link to this article to you. Just give me a moment. So I'm just going to send the link to this multi-call contract to you. Sorry, multi-call article. Sorry about that. So you can just check it out. So I wrote it specifically for this workshop. So please endeavor to like share, encouragement, comment if you found it helpful. So just going to get the link and send to you. Give me a moment. All right, so I'm sending the link to the live chat now, so you can just read on this and Okay, so this is the link to the Medium article. So I'm going to send the links to this sample contract. Like a lot of let me share my screen again to do a walkthrough. I'm sending this. It hasn't sent. No, I can't send. I can't seem to send anything to the comment section. I don't know why. Okay. So I'm finding it hard to send the links that I want to send to the comment section. I wonder why. Okay, so Koxy, if you're here, so you can just help me share the link if you can, but I'm just finding it hard to share this link to the YouTube live chat. So if you're here, just, help me send it. So this is the link to the multi-call. Just here. Okay. All right. So, I wanted to show something. Just want to do a little walkthrough of the repo. So in case you want to clone the repo, so you won't have a hard time finding your way. All right. So this is the sample repo that I use. Sorry. So this is the sample repo. So you can just, if you want to play around with this on Remix, this is the address of the multi-call. This is the address of the Kish token deployed to Sepolia, Shui token, balance checker one. I didn't explain this because it was basically the same thing, but you can still check it out. These are different ways you can use multi-call too. So this is another contract that just takes in an array of users to a token. So this is the double call balance checker that we checked out. All right. So this is the repo. You can check it out. All right. So okay. Just give me a moment. All right, stop sharing. Okay. All right. So please, now is the time for questions. If you have questions, please bring them on. Bring them on. If you have questions are welcome. All right. So thank you so much, Koxy. Thank you. So the link to the sample repo has been sent to the chat. And also a link to the Medium article would also be sent. So please bring your questions, bring it on, bring your questions. So in light of what we've been able to do, so Koxy, please, you can share the socials to the Women in DeFi socials. So anyone that wants to join our community can join. So just send a link to our social handles so they can join. If you have questions, please bring them on. Bring them on. And if you're looking for me on socials, let me just send my socials. So you can just share it, Koxy. All right. So the host for this workshop is Koxy, but she seems to be having network issues, as it's not surprising. We are in Nigeria. All right. So we have come to the end of this. I'm still waiting for questions in the chat. No questions yet. So we're just going to wait a bit to see if there will be questions that will come in. We're going to wait a bit for questions. Please bring in questions. I love questions. Bring in questions, 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 questions. Mhm. Mhm. So, since there are no questions, all right. So in summary, so someone just sent a question to the chat. In summary, what is the use of multi-call contract? So in summary of everything we've been able to do today, so multi-call contract just helps you to batch transaction, right? Instead of making a call to the blockchain like multiple times, one after the other, you make the first call, you make the second call, you make the third call, like one after the other. And each of these calls, we know consume gas, right? So instead of doing that one as, you just use multi-call function, bash all this, batch all these transactions into one, send them to the blockchain and get your results. So this is just one of the importance of like multi-call function. Helps you batch transaction into one, just like you for these addresses, right? When I wanted to check the addresses, like normally, like the way you would do it, I copied the address, pasted it, check, copied, pasted it, check, right? So using multi-call, what we just did was just click on one function, which means we are sending one transaction to the blockchain, then getting the result, return data and sending it. Okay, so this question says, can multi-call be used for airdrop contract? Sure, you can. Sure, you can. Okay, so for example, right, you have like a list of addresses that you want to airdrop tokens to, right? So you can, instead of airdropping, let's say you are airdropping at once. Sorry, you are the way they do airdrop, right? So you are airdropping to this list of addresses that you have. So instead of doing this airdrop one after the other, you click on this address, airdrop. I don't really think that's how you do it. So I'm pretty sure they use a technology in terms of multi-core contract. So what you do is get these addresses, check their rewards, the appropriate rewards that they qualify for. Then that's how I would do it if I want to do it. Then trigger the function. So in the function, there's going to be a logic that makes sure that you are sending the right rewards to all these addresses. So what you just do now is click on just one function, just like a launch pad. Click on it, then it drops all the rewards that you want to this address using a multi-call. That means you are calling like multiple addresses at a time, which, to my opinion, would help save gas. So another question says, is there a relationship between using the multi-call and using Merkle tree? Mm, mm, mm. So it's a very different like scenario, different ball game entirely, right? So Merkle tree is just a data structure that they use to track transactions. And um, uses Merkle tree, uses it to structure the blockchain transactions, right? So just use it to structure the blockchain, the hash of this, So that with the hash of that, the hash of this, the hash of that. So in order to, connect this transaction. But this is a different ball game when it comes to multi-core. It's an entirely different ball game when it comes to multi-core. So Merkle tree is just like a data structure that a blockchain can use in order to structure transactions, right? So it's different. Merkle tree, data structure, multi-core, gas saving mechanism. So yeah. Okay. All right. So I see our host is trying to join. So Koxy is the DevRel for WID, and she's been doing an amazing job. Just so you know, she came up with this workshop, which is an amazing way for people to learn. Okay, so another question is, in terms of airdrop, would you suggest using Merkle tree or multi-core? Okay, so what I suggest in this case would not be accurate because I have no, very solid understanding of what you want to do, right? So it depends on the need, right? It depends on the need. I don't really think you would necessarily implement Merkle tree. You would actually use Merkle tree because to my understanding, Merkle tree is already being used in Ethereum, right? It's already being used in the blockchain. So you are just, you're not implementing it from scratch, you're just using it. So, and that is your question, right? So it depends on your use, right? In case in what you want to use for your airdrop contracts, the structure of your airdrop, how you want to do it, right? So you would likely use Merkle tree and you would likely use multiple. It just depends, right? It just depends on the need of your airdrop. Depends on the need of your job. So, yep. I just hope I did justice in answering these questions. So, yeah. All right. So, all right. So, if that is all the questions we have, if that is all the questions we have, then we can gradually say we are closing the curtain. All right. Thank you so much, Coxie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Would have been nice for us to hear your lovely voice, but yeah. So if you can speak, please do. We would like to hear your lovely voice. Uh, sorry about the network issues. We are in Nigeria, so I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Not surprised. Lately, the network has been like that. So, uh, I think she's trying to speak. I think she's trying to speak. We'll just give her a few minutes, see if she can speak. All right. So, Foxy, you can just send a message to chat. Just let me know if. All right. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, everyone that joined. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having me. And I hope you learned one or two, right? So you can go ahead, practice this on your own. Multi-call is an important and very useful tool to have in your toolbox. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, all are the read MVP. So we're just going to close the curtain. All right. So thank you everyone that joined. Gracias.